Here. Councilman Questa.
Here.
Councilman Jacobs.
Here.
Councilman Grover. Councilman Keenan.
Here.
Councilman Sedan.
Here.
Councilman Ballman. Councilman Mazza.
Here.
President Gonzalez.
Here. This is a regular conference of the City Council as incorporated in the annual meetings notice of 2012, which was filed in the City Clerk's office and posted on the bulletin board on December 27, 2011, and sent to the Star Ledger and Home News Tribune in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law of New Jersey. Before we move on to public speaking, I just would like to congratulate my colleagues, Councilwoman Perkins Auguste, Frank Cuesta, and Manny Grover on a resounding victory last night during the primary election.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I concur with that, and I want to extend serious best wishes, not only for myself, but for my wife and family also. Frank.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to the entire team, Pat, and to Manny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. President, I like also to congratulate my sincerest congratulations for a job well done. I guess the people of Elizabeth spoke out, and of course I'd like to see that we're continuing to do a good progress for the future, even though sometimes I do have differences of opinion, but we still have to work together as a team for the better of our city. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Council. Thank you.
And I just want to echo my colleagues' feelings, congratulations to all of you, and also to the mayor. Of course, the mayor isn't here.
Absolutely.
But definitely, I mean, when it comes to elections, there's always a lot of tension and everything, but the reality is, you know, the people did decide yesterday, and how my colleagues said, like, we're here to work together for whatever is best for the city of Elizabeth. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I will now open the public speaking portion of the meeting. Is there any resident or taxpayer that would like to address City Council? You may do so at this time. Once again, I will now open the public speaking portion of the meeting. Any resident taxpayer wishing to address City Council may do so at this time. Seeing none, the open meeting portion of the meeting is closed. We will now move on to new business.
Letter dated May 18, 2012, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to Howard Industries, Inc., Ellisville, Mississippi, for hardware for computers, printers, servers, media, software upgrades, printer repairs, and other computer equipment for various city buildings for the period April 1, 2012 through August 31st, 2014, at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 18, 2012, from the Business Administrator requesting authorization for the proper city officials to accept the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety Project Grant, Click It or Ticket 2012 mobilization for the period of May 21st, 2012 to June 3rd, 2012, in the amount of $4,000, and to consider a resolution supporting the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety Project Grant, Click It or Ticket 2012 mobilization.
Any comments?
Mr. President,
Councilman Jack.
we're receiving this $4,000. Can we have a letter sent over to the police director or the chief, either one of the two, and ask them how many tickets were issued with regards to people not wearing seatbelts?
Sure, Councilman.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 25th, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding contracts for the purchase of electricity through the New Jersey Sustainable Energy Joint Meeting that has separated the electricity bid into two categories. The multi-tariff award to Hess Corporation, Charlotte, North Carolina, at a rate of .07890 per kilowatt hour, and the fixed price general lighting power award to Reliant Energy Northeast LLC, Houston, Texas, at a rate of .8500 per kilowatt hour for the period of June 2012 meter read date through the June 2013 meter read date.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 29, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Bucks County International, Inc., Langhorne, Pennsylvania, for the purchase of 6 2012 International dump trucks for the Public Works Department at a total cost of $685,686.
Any comments? Put it on.
These replacements. If they're replacements.
I do have a question.
Yeah, Councilman.
Tony, last year we voted on having dump trucks refurbished. Has that been taken care of? We spent,
Do you recall when exactly, or?
it was either October or November. But the Public Works Department was supposed to have a number of our larger trucks, the beds redone. It was at the same time when I asked for the snow removal stuff, if you recall.
Was that before?
It was
Yeah.
never purchased, but I was just wondering if in fact those undercarriages and beds were
Okay.
replaced.
Mm-hmm. Checking it.
Any other comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 29, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Valve Manufacturing Company, New Kingston, Pennsylvania, for the purchase of 6 snow plows for the new dump trucks for the city yard at a cost of $22,620.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 29, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Spruce Industries Rawway, New Jersey, for the purchase of janitorial supplies for various departments for the period May 9, 2012 through May 7, 2014 at a cost not to exceed $150,000.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 30, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to W.E. Timmerman Company, Inc., White House, New Jersey, for 2 6-wheel mechanical street sweepers at the base bid amount of $444,700, including options of 2 each left-hand side broom tilt, 2 each right-hand side broom tilt, and a 3-year parts and labor warranty in the amount of $13,050 for a total of $457,750.
Any comments? Certainly could use sweepers, that's for sure. So, okay, put it on.
Letter dated May 31st, 2012, from the Business Administrator requesting authorization for the renewal of insurance with Western World Insurance Company, Ramsey, New Jersey, through agent of record Hughes Plummer Associates, covering accident insurance for the ambulance drivers and attendants for the period June 15, 2012 to June 15, 2013 at an annual premium of $7,850.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 31st, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Battleware Technology, Ashland, Virginia, for the purchase of tactical body armor for the emergency service unit of the police department at a cost of $85,890.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 31st, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Independence Constructors of Bridgewater, New Jersey, for cleaning, inspections, monitoring of oil water separators and above and underground tanks at various locations and Department of Environmental Protection compliance for the period of June 1st, 2012 through July 31st, 2012 at a cost not to exceed $50,000.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 1st, 2012, from the Business Administrator recommending awarding a contract to Lanigan Associates, Inc., Tinton Falls, New Jersey, for cleaning items, vest carriers, and other items for the Police Department for the period May 1st, 2012 through April 30, 2014 at a cost not to exceed $100,000.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 1st, 2012, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to Lawman Supply Company, White Horse Pike, Egg Harbor City, New Jersey, for police equipment, holsters, ammunition, vests, guns, handcuffs, and cleaning items for the period of May 1st, 2012 through April 30, 2014, at a cost not to exceed $300,000.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 4, 2012, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to General Sales Administration, trading as Major Police Supply, Kenville, New Jersey, for emergency lighting equipment for the Departments of Police, Fire, and Ambulance Service Bureau for the period May 29, 2012 through May 29, 2014, at a cost not to exceed $500,000.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to Highway Service Corporation, Elizabeth, for the furnishing of police authorized towing and storage services for the police department for a period of 1 year with an option to renew for a second and third year at the prices quoted.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 21st, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, requesting authorization for the tax collector to cancel the disallowed senior citizen deduction for the tax year 2011 in the amount of $12,250.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, advising that additional grants may be appropriated in the 2012 state fiscal year budget by budget amendments, Chapter 159.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, advising that transfers for the 2012 state fiscal year municipal and sewer utility budgets may be necessary.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, requesting that your honorable body consider the Elizabeth Avenue Special Improvement District 2013 fiscal budget for introduction and approval.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body consider approving a resolution for the certification of the preliminary 2013 state fiscal year tax levy in order that tax bills for the second half of calendar year 2012 be issued in a timely manner in accordance with state statutes.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body consider a resolution that would pre-qualify those eligible bond attorneys, Decatus, Fitzpatrick, and Cole, Teaneck, New Jersey, who submitted a request for qualifications to the city that was solicited through a fair and open process.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body consider a resolution that would pre-qualify those eligible appraisers, Stack, Houlihan and Stack, Hoboken, New Jersey, Stanley J., Colonia, New Jersey Realty Advisory Group, Perth Amboy, who submitted a request for qualifications to the city that was solicited through a fair and open process.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body consider a resolution that would pre-qualify those eligible financial advisors, Powell Capital Markets, Roseland, Acacia Financial Group, Marlton, Northwest Financial Group, Jersey City, who submitted a request for qualifications to the city that was solicited through a fair and open process.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body consider a resolution that would pre-qualify those eligible auditors, Lewis C. May, CPA, Kinnelon, McNenery, Brady and Company, LLC, Livingston, who submitted a request for qualifications to the city that was solicited through a fair and open process.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body consider a resolution that will pre-qualify those eligible property tax attorneys, Blau and Blau, Springfield, Palumbo and Renard, Cranford, New Jersey, who submitted a request for qualifications to the city that was solicited through a fair and open process.
Any comments?
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from Chief Financial Officer, recommending that your honorable body considers cancellation of $1 million in the sewer utility operating fund capital outlay appropriation 2013 state fiscal year and credit it to sewer utility surplus.
Any comments? Put it up.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from Chief Financial Officer requesting to return to the tax roll 620, 624 First Avenue due to default of the financial agreement under the tax abatement statute between 620 First Urban Renewal LP, Caribou Rodriguez, and the City of Elizabeth.
Any comments?
Yeah,
Councilman Matt.
Mr. President, Tony, what's happening with this? The same thing happened last year and the year before?
Yeah, they haven't paid any taxes. They owe about $200,000 in taxes. They haven't provided any audited statements and so on. They were in the tax sale last year.
Right.
Okay. And they still haven't made anything. So we want to put them back on the tax roll. And that's the legal thing to do, our statute.
Now, Tony,
Not paying.
when you put him back on tax rolls, he can't pay the taxes, you foreclose?
Whoever buys the tax lien will be foreclosing in 2 years. It would take them 2 years. Now, the question is...
Unless he could pay, what, 18 or 24%?
Whatever the percentage
Yeah.
is, it's probably 18%. The question is, there's 2 properties there. They both have approximately 24 units in each location, which is low to moderate income. So we're going to have to be very careful the next couple of years, either put them into receivership over the next couple of years and start to collect money ourselves for the city, or maybe I'll come up with some cash to pay the taxes. But the tax lien holder has 2 years, so they've been in 1 year already. So this time next year, they could start their foreclosure proceedings.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we'll be evaluating things and a possible receivership and trying to work with this individual to
Can we,
things
Yeah,
done.
can you give us a chance? Maybe I get in touch with him again, and I'm sure he will probably come up with some
Sure,
proposal.
love to have that
Okay.
happen. Sure. Absolutely,
I
sure.
mean, just like we did,
Seniors, it's seniors.
Anything, sure.
a lot of senior citizens in this building.
Tony, I think,
Yeah,
Mr.
Councilman.
President, I think that your idea of receivership is excellent. Why? Because receivership would allow you the opportunity, the city the opportunity to collect the rents, make sure the interests of the, it's not our job, but the thing is,
Right. But the thing is that the owner is collecting monies that are being filtered somewhere else.
correct.
So
That's why-
we're going to look
that's why-
into it to see what the legality of it is and how long it takes to implement.
Has the owner been given notice of this, or? What have we
He will
done
be,
to-
I mean, he's in default, and we've talked to him over the last couple of years, and
But recently, has there been
I haven't
discussions
talked to
or
him. I've
meetings?
called, let's say, 3 times, he hasn't returned any of my phone calls. So hopefully this will spark.
I'll give him a call.
Maybe,
I'll reach him out so you
Yeah.
can get together with him. I'm sure he's gonna
Absolutely.
cooperate,
Well, we hope.
right?
We,
Councilman, maybe you can orchestrate a meeting with him.
Okay.
yeah, sure.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, so we're gonna hold this one?
Yeah, just hold it.
Yeah.
This one, the one pal.
Both of them, we'll hold the
Yeah.
next 2, we'll just hold them, I agree, I'll
Right.
also try to reach out to them.
Mhm.
I will.
Okay, fine, yeah, we're willing to talk anytime, and, but again, it's...
Gotta put some money in there. Right.
We put some money
Yeah.
in there and,
Okay, so we'll hold this,
Thank you,
So
Mr.
to
President.
hold these 2?
Yeah.
both of them, yeah. Give it up and see. Yeah.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer advising that in compliance with the State Fiscal Year 2012 Appropriations Act, it requires your honorable body to approve all payments related to accumulated uncompensated absence benefits.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 6, 2012, from the Chief Financial Officer advising that in compliance with State Fiscal Year 2012 Appropriations Act, it requires your honorable body to review the city's quarterly 2012 State Fiscal Year budget revenues and appropriations for the fiscal year third quarter ending March 31st, 2012.
Any comments?
Make it smaller.
Put it on.
Letter dated June 4, 2012, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting to amend the resolution adopted August 23, 2011, authorizing a deferred payment repayable loan to the Oaks at Westminster Urban Renewal LLC in the amount of $1,421,674, specifically to comply with handicap accessibility requirements, increasing the amount by $200,000, raising the loan to $1,621,674.
Any comments?
Where is this loan coming from, Mr. President?
Tom? You're allowed to comment.
I thought they had it in here.
They're getting a loan, that's because the governor promised them and then he left and they actually can't show the money, is that
We want
correct?
to apply $200,000 in RCA funds.
Right, okay,
RCA.
RCA.
RCA funds, yeah, the home funds.
I know the 4 million from the state just never came through.
Never came through.
And they're gonna likely.
That's right, too.
Any other comments? Okay, put it on.
Letter dated May 21st, 2012, from the Director of Public Works requesting permission to have liens placed against properties listed on Schedule A, attached here to, made a part hereof, for the removal and disposal of debris from said properties in the amount of $5,046.02. And there,
I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll,
That was the honking one at first, but
I'm sorry.
removal and disposal of debris.
Any? Yes, did you finish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any comments? Okay, put it on.
Letter dated May 21st, 2012, from the Director of Public Works requesting permission to have liens placed against properties listed on Schedule A attached for the boarding up of properties in the amount of $4,103.48.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated May 29, 2012, from the Director of Public Works recommending awarding a contract to CME Associates, Harlan, New Jersey, to provide professional engineering services in connection with the design and construction administration of the 2012 road resurfacing program Phase 2 at a cost not to exceed $99,398.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 4, 2012, from the Director of Public Works requesting permission to have liens placed against properties listed on Schedule A for the boarding up of said properties in the amount of $1,412.87.
Any comments? Put it on.
Letter dated June 4, 2012, from the Director of Public Works requesting permission to have liens placed against the properties listed on Schedule A for the removal and disposal of debris from said properties in the amount of $9,260.22.
Any comments? Put it on. Looks like Public Works has been busy. Huh?
Yeah.
Just good. Good.
Councilman Grover has requested to remove from hold a handicap parking space at 215 Pine Street. Letter dated June 5, 2012, from the Police Director requesting permission to establish handicap parking spaces and deletions at following locations. 6th Ward, 504 4th Avenue.
Yes, give it the okay.
Okay, 2nd Ward, 533 Green Street.
Can we hold that one, please?
Second Ward, 843 Garden Street, personalized.
That one's okay, but I know that in the past, I think Councilman Grover has raised it when you get this particular block. They have quite a few on that block. I don't know if there's anything that can be done to limit the number that are placed on a particular block. I mean, this will make, for that particular block, they have 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Parking is, of course, becomes an issue, so I don't know if there's something we could or should do about.
What's the street?
Garden Street, and that's Garden Street between Greer and Edgar Road.
Well, while we're on that topic, because I've been on this topic for 20 years, can we please look into a parking permit sticker that residents have to pay for, so they have priority parking on their street? There are a whole bunch of towns that have it. If you could look into Bloomfield, if you could look into Nutley, if you can look into Hoboken, all of these towns have this. And I think it's now time, look, my tenure is just about done here. I might be blowing steam, but anyway, it's been a topic that's been hot on me because residents have come up here in the past and complained about the fact that they can't find parking. So we have, and I'm not against the handicapped people, believe me. We have 6 spots on one street, okay? How many of those spots are personalized? How many? Do you know? Because we have a law on the books that protects the handicapped parker, okay? And then gives them a parking spot if they pay for it. Why can't we as residents, and I'll be a resident pretty soon, get a parking permit sticker so that I can park on the street and when I come home at night and I can find a spot?
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
Yeah, that's something, you're right, Councilman.
South 7th Street, I mean, Frank, you down there, how many on South 7th Street?
They used to be 7, now they're down to 2, Eddie. They're being removed.
Okay, but anyway, they were up to
They were
7
a
at
lot,
one time, right?
possibly,
I
you're
mean,
right.
South 7th Street was ridiculous.
Right, you're right.
If you wanted to park on South 7th Street, you lived there, you had to park on Ristine Street or someplace
Right,
down there.
someplace else.
That's why I raised it, because this
Oh,
one,
well, live on
this block
Amity
will
Street.
make 6 on this particular block, but, should there be some limitation or something? Because then, at a certain point, it just becomes unfair to all the other residents, and, so I don't know if it's possible or not, and with Councilman Jackus's recommendation, that we look at just some time of sticker resident parking or whatever, we've raised that up before in the past and never gotten a response. Even though I know most of the other towns that have it, they are much smaller towns that have it. I haven't seen them in Jersey Cities and the Pattersons and those that are comparable to our size, but that doesn't mean we couldn't do a pilot maybe and try it and see what happens. But we certainly should have someone look into it, because
I mean,
parking is a
Now would be
problem.
the perfect time. I'm the one that brought it up so many times. I'm leaving. Do the pilot thing. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Blame me. I'm out. No one here can complain. No one. Everybody's safe. All right? Blame me.
Councilman Sedano.
No, I completely agree with Eddie. And even besides the handicap parking situation, is also the residential areas that are close to the business areas. Like, for example, on Morris Avenue, the side street, Sayre Street. Many times people that when they go visit the businesses, they'll park in the residential to avoid paying for the meters. So the neighbors there, they come home and they can't find parking from their own homes. So I think it's a great thing to look into too. So, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next one I'll put on hold because Councilman Grover's not here. Disapprove 340 Morris Avenue, deletions 918 Roosevelt Street, 117 Ray Street, and 504 First Avenue. Okay. Letter received May 23rd, 2012 from Coco Bongo Productions requesting to amend the resolution granting permission to conduct their 8th annual Colombian Independence Day Festival adopted on May 8, 2012, specifically to include Morris Avenue from Sayre Street to Westfield. It was omitted from their first request.
Any questions?
Yeah,
Yes, Councilman.
just in retrospect, I'm trying to think, why would we have two festivals, highlighting the same, cultural heritage, one back to back? And, in retrospect, we have given, the other organization the approval almost like a whole year ago before this request came up. And, I don't know if the thing to just have two of those festivals back to back. I don't understand what we're doing, you know, as a city to put all that, you know, stress and pressure on the police, the fire, the residents who live in those areas, in that area. And now he's talking about extending it over to Sayre. I don't know why, I just don't think I don't think we acted in good judgment as a whole, to allow for two festivals commemorating the exact same thing. And then, I don't know. That's just mine. First I thought it was a good idea, and then when I started really thinking about it, I'm like, just, you know, really, why would we do this? I think it creates a bigger division than uniting everybody, because it just doesn't make sense to me. And so, I don't think, I'm not gonna support any addition, because I don't think we should have it to begin with, because it just doesn't make any sense. And I think it creates a division more so than bringing that community together. I think it creates stress and tension amongst the business owners, because now they have two festivals and two different people with two different perspectives. I just don't think it's a good idea.
I'd like to recognize Councilman Grove.
Sorry, guys.
Good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just got done with the community.
So I just don't think, Mr. President, that it's a good idea. And it sets a precedent, and I don't think it's something that we should start doing. Because you want to bring the city together, you don't want to divide it. And I think it's a divisive thing that we're doing. And I think when people come to us, I think we need to take the high road and try to unite people and not divide or wedge. That's just my thoughts on it.
Any other comments? I just would like to add, some comments. I don't disagree with you, Councilwoman. And I think when we discussed it in council chambers and we previously approved it, we were pretty much all of the same thinking that, it would be good for them to get together and do it. But unfortunately also, there really isn't anything that we can do when they make these applications to not approve them. Also, they all have a right to be able to apply. If they meet the criteria, the requirements, then they are able to move forward with it. Our hope, of course, is that maybe one day they'll come together and realize that and be able to work as one united group and have one festival. But, yes, Councilman.
Mr. President, I was just going to add, even on that night, that's like something I mentioned, it's like I hope that moving forward, even next year, they could just work together. It's, it shouldn't be two separate ones.
It's not gonna have, it's gonna create more tension, because it's just gonna create more tension. If I was a business owner in that community, I'm gonna get tension, because I have to either support one, support two, and that's gonna be a strain on me as a business person. If I don't support the first one, and then if I support it, say no, I want the other one, then it's gonna be pressure. So that in itself, it creates pressure. So, like I said, I'm not gonna be supporting anything further in that regard. And I think, people do have the right to make applications, but we also have the right to set guidelines and make sure that everyone cannot come up every week and apply for an application to have a festival in the same community for the same event. You can't have 10 same festivals, you shouldn't have two. It's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of things that happen with that in terms of the city, what we have to go through, in terms of our police and fire personnel, in terms of our public works. And I just don't think it, in retrospect, was a good thing to do. So
Any other comments? First, Councilman Costa, I'm sorry.
Mr. President, I think in moving forward, one of the things that we should consider, and I'm not sure of the legality of this, but one of the things we should consider is limiting the number of festivals within a period of time. In other words, every community, every group is entitled to make a request. But since these festivals are taking place literally within, what, a couple of weeks within each other, whatever.
1 week.
1 week. And perhaps we can consider, for the future perhaps, because I don't think you can, make it all retroactive, but something that we restrict the number of festivals, let's say, within a period of 2 months, let's say. But, I mean, in the same area, in the same community. Obviously, the different parts of town, that may be different. But I think with the festivals that we have now, I mean, the one that comes to mind, of course, is the one that Meli Meli Production has. And there are at least 3 months in between.
Right.
Because I think he does one in May, and then the other one is in September.
And they're in 2 different.
And they're 2 different locations.
Yeah, everything is different.
So everything is different, and that is more conducive to, so that's something that perhaps, I don't know, the legal department can look into, a possibility.
Just to ask for clarification, when you say community, are you talking about geographic,
Geographic.
as in like
Yeah.
neighborhood that?
Yeah, geographic, because you could have, let's say, the Puerto Rican community doing 2 festivals in different parts of town, that might not cost, but here it's the same area basically, and it's within a week, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
it's
Or
1 week
maybe
before.
cultural, or maybe cultural.
Or maybe cultural, yeah, I don't want to, I want to be careful with the label, but
Yeah.
maybe,
So you're talking about both geographic
And
within the city
cultural.
and cultural within the background, you say community.
I think
Yeah.
Frank's comment is the location.
the location is my main concern.
The people that live there have to deal with the
Right.
festival back to back.
Exactly, back-to-back
That's
festival.
unreal, that's unreal.
So that's my main concern, the
It's
location.
unreal.
Okay. Councilman Jacobs, you have?
Yeah, if we're going to talk about location, and maybe Councilman Mazza can correct me on this, I think he was on city council when it was discussed the first time, at the at-large seat. The waterfront park down at in the first ward, that was supposed to be the place where all of these festivals were
Right.
supposed to take
Right.
place.
Right.
So I don't know how we got away from splattering them all over the city when they're actually, that was built for that purpose. The purpose was to have all festivals right there. I think the only one that has a festival there now might be Meli Mel.
Yes.
And he has it at the waterfront. So I don't know why we got away from that, allowing people to have them in the neighborhoods when that was built for just that purpose. Is that correct, Councilman?
Right. That's what it is.
So we need to find out if in fact we need to create an ordinance to keep the festivals down there.
I mean, those
Limited
are two
disruption.
good points that
Absolutely.
you raised. Yes,
Because it just
absolutely.
maintains order, everyone knows.
That's where it was supposed to be.
And it's fair to everybody. Great, I think those are excellent points that are being brought up, and hopefully our law department can
And the clerk
get something for us.
We have.
Okay.
And this, as a matter of record, we can rescind what we voted on. We can rescind it. I think I heard a colleague said that we can't rescind it. We can rescind the permission, just as a matter of clarification and point of order. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Councilman. Any other comments? Okay, put it on.
We're putting this on?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know whether you have you did. You have in your package a letter from the Elizabeth Police Athletic League. I had contacted Mr. Banks for the exact time, date, and location on Front Street, and he did not respond, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna wait until I can get.
we're gonna
more
hold on
Can
to
we
this.
just put it on and get the information by next week? And then if you don't have it, you can pull it.
What are we talking about? Which one is that? What is it?
This one,
Right here.
Elizabeth Police Athletic League.
Yeah.
This one just says in here.
Yeah, it doesn't
during
have,
They said during the July 4th
Yeah.
of July holiday. It's just one day, July 4th holidays, July 4th.
Yeah, this gentleman actually spoke to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they're looking to do is do the carnival type thing with the rides
Okay.
um,
On the 4th of July?
on the 4th of July. That weekend over there, it's like a fundraiser that a lot of these people do to raise money. They do carnival rides and stuff. And that's where we were talking about Melly Mel before, but that's where he uses for that same company to put the rides and go around and sell the tickets and whatnot. So that's what he was looking to do. And because of the idea that they don't know how many rides they're actually going to use or rent, I guess, he had said, would it be a problem if we closed Front Street between Broadway, I guess, and East Jersey? Also, so I don't have a problem with this. I think, though, this needs to come from the mayor. He's the one that usually
Close the
He closes the
streets,
streets.
right.
And I think he has to give authorization to utilize the parking lot.
The parking lot also?
That's what, the marina parking lot.
Okay,
To do the thing.
okay.
I'm pretty sure that's where he gets, because whenever the waterfront festival occurs, the mayor is the one that usually issues the.
Right. Okay, did he
resolution.
mention a time for this?
No. We gotta give him a call on that.
So we don't have to entertain this at this point, council.
Yes, we do.
We should put it on and see if we get a time by next Tuesday.
Okay.
If we don't have a time, then we'll pull it. Is that fair?
All right, well,
Okay.
Yolanda will put it on if we get the information. If we don't get the information, she'll hold it.
Okay.
We need the time.
Okay.
The time?
That's
The exact
all
date, time, and location.
Oh,
Right.
It says a location, portion of Front Street, the waterfront,
Yeah.
marina parking.
Yeah, but he has to be
Walking.
specific. He has to be
Yes.
specific.
The waterfront marina parking
Right.
area.
Yes.
The waterfront marina parking area.
Right.
and
I'll try to call
portion
him
of
myself.
Front Street.
Yeah, if he could be as specific as possible, that would be better.
I'll talk to
I
him.
mean, we have these other ones we're looking at, and we're asking, they're saying we want to close it from this street to that street, and this one's just very general. So
Right.
we have
I
to
think it's the first time.
make sure that everybody will do the same thing. So,
I'll talk to him.
all right, so if he gives us the information, we'll put it on. If not, we'll hold it. Okay?
mhm.
Okay, great.
All right.
Maybe Mr. President needs somebody
Yes, I'm sorry.
to help him out, as he says, the
Yeah,
first
well, I
time.
think
So
Councilman Grover said he's
Probably
gonna,
any mail or somebody who has experience to planning.
I'll give him a call.
All right.
Councilman's gonna reach out.
Councilwoman Perkins Dusty is requesting accommodations for senior students of Elizabeth High School who have been recognized by Restore Ministries on their graduation from high school and who are moving forward to institutions of higher learning and the armed forces. Okay. We have a memorial for Rafael Salermo and Anna Laporta. Letter dated May 21st, 2012, from the city treasurer submitting the treasurer's report of receipts and disbursements for the month of February 2012 and statement of bank balances and investments as of February 29, 2012.
Any comments? Put it on.
George?
Yes.
Carry
Yes.
every
Let's
movie,
stop
50,
right here.
keep it off his job.
I've known Linwood.
Long time ago, so I just-
He actually, he does such great work.
And just home, like, on basement.
I actually visited his program when I was 17.
Is that right?
New Jersey.
He's a good guy.
Right.
Okay. Also, as you all know, Councilman Ballman has been out on a sick leave, and this is the sixth absence.
Yeah, I had it on my notes, so we have to do something, right?
Yes, we
have
have
to
to
take
put
action.
in for a waiver.
Yes.
And that, and I would like to, extend that to my colleague. I mean, I've done it before, and I'd like to extend it to the colleague as well. So, if everybody's okay with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yep,
no
yep.
problem.
I thought it was 8.
8, yeah,
Yeah,
but
this is
see,
6th?
yeah, this
I
is the
see.
6th. The next voting is on the 12th, and
Right.
then the 8th, the next voting will be after the
After.
8th.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
Yes.
how's he doing at the moment? Is he getting better?
He seems to be recovering. He's doing better.
Good,
He's
good.
definitely doing better. Okay. That's it? Okay, we'll do the once around. Councilwoman?
Yes, Mr. President, as I was doing my door-to-door around the Jefferson Park area, there has been one resounding concern in that community, and is that the park needs to be cleaned up. in terms of the loitering, the alleged drug trafficking, the alleged drinking after hours. And I wanted to see if we had an ordinance on the books regarding people in the parks after 9 p.m. or once it's dark.
Yes.
I believe the park's closed.
It's supposed to have anybody in the park. at
Okay,
dusk.
then I want to send a directive to the police department. They must enforce that. Okay? We can do a PSA or whatever, let the people know. Although it's summertime, when the lights are out, when it's dark, you're not supposed to be in the park. I mean, the residents just think that we, the city leaders, do not care about them because we allow just rampant, it says it's an open drug court.
Right.
And we don't do anything about it. We, the city leaders. So, we know we can get it done. We have the personnel and the equipment to do what's needed, and we have to get people out that park. One guy said he lived in Roosevelt Park, or he was in Roosevelt Park, or Westville, or somewhere. He was playing basketball. Cop came and said, "It's nighttime. You're not supposed to be here. Do you live here? Get out."
This is a park.
Yeah, the park.
Which
I
park
mean,
is this?
Jefferson Park. It's not about arresting people, it's about telling them that they're not supposed to be in that area once it's dark. If we cleaned up Jackson Park, we can clean up Jefferson Park.
Absolutely.
When Councilman Gover took over First Ward, Jackson Park had the same type of issues. Now you go by there day or night, there's no issues. So we can do it. So I really need that done. Secondly, the ambulance, our ambulance bureau, we need some more EMTs. We're way below our TO, I believe. And that is a revenue stream operation. The EMTs, they bring in revenue. We need to hire some more EMTs. I don't care where they come from, the men and women there, they're being overworked. And we need more EMTs, and we probably need another vehicle. But they pay for itself. It's a revenue generating operation for the city, and we need to try to beef up the manpower there. Okay, Tom?
Yeah.
Please.
Preferably within Elizabeth if we have any, but I don't know.
Goes
We
through the
talked
go
about
right through the retail skills center.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
plenty of
I'm gonna
people
say-
that probably sign up that have,
EMT training, right. I mean, that's a good.
or our high
source.
school.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time.
Or
We've been
some-
talking about that for
Yeah.
what, how long, 10, 12,
Or somehow
15
do
years?
something to maybe get more people in Elizabeth trained to be
We
EMTs.
talked about that, that's what our high schools,
Yes.
we've been talking about that for years. But we need to beef it up. Because some of them spoken to me in confidence, and they're being overworked. And it'll cut down on the response time, it's a quality of life issue. Okay?
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Something that pays for itself. That's all right.
Anything else? Okay, Councilman Keenan?
Pass.
Councilman Grove?
I got a couple things. Just to piggyback on what Pat mentioned regarding Jefferson Park. What we did down in Jackson Park was, before we started enforcing it, we put a lot of signs up
That's what I'm thinking.
that post the ordinance. So we need to get Public Works to spread out in about 10 or 15 or 20 signs in the perimeter of the park, stating the ordinance number and what the fine is, so that the people know, and then we start enforcing it.
And can we have that in tri-language, English, Spanish, and Creole? Whoever's relaying the information, Public Works.
Now, that brings up a second point. As you all know, I've been a very big critic of quality of life stuff that we need to start enforcing in this town. And we've met with a lot of people over the last couple of months that keep complaining, as I do, about the loud noise, about littering, about drinking. I'd like to get a copy of our penalties for loitering in a park after dark, loitering anywhere, drinking in public, loud noise from cars or from parties, littering. I'd like to see what the fines are.
Okay.
If it falls under a catch-all penalty,
Mhm.
then we need to increase that penalty. I believe the catch-all penalty in the city of Elizabeth is $100.
That's correct.
That is not something that's going to deter somebody from doing it. So I think what we need to do is revamp our penalties, make it a mandatory minimum of $250. If you're going to be out there drinking in public or running your car with the loud radio going, we're allowed to do a mandatory minimum penalty. We've done it with the garbage at the curb at the wrong time. And I think that's something that I would ask if the law department could look into that. The second job I want to give you guys is as follows. I am extremely upset with PSE&G and Verizon. There is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 300 locations in this city where you have a brand new telephone pole and an old one right next door to it. Okay? And it's ruining our sewers because they leave a pile of that clay dirt at the base of these poles. They break up the sidewalks, there's chunks of concrete all over the place, and they have left it like that, at least down by me. There's some locations that have been like that for over 2.5 years. In the meantime, however, PSE&G has decided, without the permission of the city, to put up those solar panels on almost every pole. I want to make that illegal for them to put up those solar panels until they come to this table and start correcting the problems.
Okay.
Okay? We can do that. I know there's other towns that don't allow for solar panels to be on poles. We, as a city, get nothing out of these solar panels. We get nothing, zero. If we got at least a break on our electrical bill, we get zero. Okay? They're using the city of Elizabeth sky to generate money for themselves. And what we get in return is poles and dirt all over the place. I called the PSE&G about this a month ago. I'm sorry, Verizon, young lady at Verizon, Ann Kretzberg, I think is her name. And I asked her, because I had met with these guys a month ago in my office, PSE&G and Verizon. I met with them in my office. And they said, oh, you know, PSE&G went out and put up these poles without telling Verizon, that's why there's a delay. Well, almost a year went by. I called her, said her crew had to go to Summit because they had an emergency. You know what? Summit's no better than us.
Yeah, that's
okay?
right.
We're probably the biggest customer in Union County as far as paying our electrical bill, and we shouldn't be second class to any other town. So I want an ordinance for our next council meeting that says that it's illegal for them to put those solar panels on those poles without coming to the city council. And I understand, at least John Papetti indicated to me that there's some ordinance about the poles and getting permission if they're going to put a new pole in. Can I get a copy of that ordinance?
Sure can.
Because it's obvious, and he's telling me that construction department enforces it. There's no enforcement going on.
No.
Okay, so I don't think construction department knows that they're supposed to enforce it. If they do, they're not doing it. Because what they should do, in my opinion, if they are enforcing it, is they can drive up the streets in Elizabeth and just start writing summons for everyone. Sure. And we'll make a lot of money.
Well, that's what they need to do if they're gonna be enforcing.
There's got to be something, because you know what, PSE&G, Verizon has cut down their manpower over the last 10 years. They're fighting with their unions all the time. That's why I don't think any of this work is being done properly. And they're making money on this free electricity that they're getting from the sun, and the city and the residents are getting, not getting the services they deserve. That's all I got.
Okay, Councilman Mazza.
Yeah, Mr. President, I have a couple issues myself. Number one, O'Brien Field, there's constantly the same teenagers or adult people drinking beer right in the opening in front of children. And I usually go for a walk and I see and I keep telling them, but after they drink, the beer is all over the grass, and sometimes they break the bottles of beers against the railing. And if a young child happens to fall, they're gonna have a problem. Those particular juvenile were alerts. We need to really get the police office to do their job. I mean, there's so many radio cars that go up and down. Nobody seems to see what's going on in the park. I mean, right in the open, they got 2 cases of beer. I mean, you should tell them there's a law on the book that public place are not supposed to drink any alcohol, especially, right in the open in front of the children.
You have a specific
Yeah,
time of
right
day
across
and
from
what have you?
right on I went to the Portuguese parade, I was walking to go to the parade, and there were about 10 of them drinking bottles all over the sidewalk, all over the grass in the field, and
Where specifically you were looking at?
325 or 325 South 7th Street, and some of them, they're also climbing on the top of the trees, and they're drinking on the top of the tree too. Seriously. And I told them, I said, you know, what are you doing up there? You should fall down. So I think it's really,
They got a
I
tree
don't know
house there.
what kind of a culture they have, but you know, they have to have respect.
Yeah.
And
Have you put that location on the lookout sheet with the police department?
I did.
Yeah.
I have a sheet, but you know,
Yeah, still.
nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. The only time if I call, let's say, either Vito Tropiano or somebody else that I know, they go by and then they disappear and they go back again later on. But usually they stay until even 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And when they walk out of there, then they walk in different direction. You can see them playing the song, you know, left and right.
Yeah,
So,
Mr. Zangaro, make sure we forward
that's
something to the
one.
police director.
Yes.
Number two, we have a serious issue as far as tickets being issued early in the morning, especially, let's say, between Palmer and Emery Street or other area, you know, even on the ward. If your car is parked, the rear of the car in a yellow line, you give them a ticket, it's like $62. They asked me if they could park, being that we have a park lot at the center, there's another lot that belongs to the city. You know, if the residents could park there at nighttime or whatever, and then when they go to work, it's okay because there's no parking space. Now it's another problem we have. The city is refreshing the line, and they're painting the yellow line. Now they're really enforcing the line. From a stop sign, they go back 50 feet, where the line was fade out for years, and they didn't pay probably 3 or 4 years. You know, people park, and I keep telling the people, no matter whether there's a yellow line or not, the cop will come in, measure, and give you a ticket. You know, that we have to have a common sense. We were studying for about over a year. We went over about the ordinance. We talked about the ordinance around the schools and whatever, and then each word counts. I think we agreed that we're supposed to alleviate the area so that the people could park, because we did a lot of construction in the city, and I as a former commissioner on the board, I voted for some of those particular new construction that we have in town. But unfortunately, the city is very old, and we have to do something about it. Somebody takes upon themselves and paint the line depending in the area, I'd be good going. And I did speak with Mr. Paperi, and I felt really that refreshing the line, we have to follow a protocol. If he says it's 50 feet from the stop sign and go back, every stop sign has to be 50 feet. Or, you know, do we really have to do those lines 50 feet, maybe make it 25, 30 so we could pick up a parking space, even though it's a state law. But he goes, well, I'm sure we're not going to enforce. Well, I said, but what happened? The scooters, every morning, there's one or two people to go out. Every morning they get hit and I get a complaint. We have no place to park. So,
Yeah, Councilman, you're absolutely right. I don't know if you recall, we talked about
right.
that study. I'm still waiting for the revised response so we could do a pilot, because we were going to start with a pilot in my ward, and my understanding something was coming down. In fact, the
Yeah,
counselor here was
I still
looking into it.
haven't, yeah, I haven't heard from
TNM.
TNM. Last I heard, Bridget was the one taking care of it, so I haven't spoken with, I believe his name is Mr. Klein,
Yeah.
in quite some time, but I believe Bridget has.
It's been going on for over a year.
Yeah,
Over a year.
Right, I know.
Hey, George, you gotta send a message to TNM. If they can't handle the business, we get
Give
another
it to
company.
somebody else.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be very simple.
I agree.
If they're our traffic consultant and they can't handle our
I mean,
requests, then we
in
have-
this situation, I mean, we did get one report, but it was not a good report. And it was not well written, it was not well thought out, and I gave it back, and Counselor followed up with it,
It
but.
was unprofessional.
That was from TNM?
Yes,
That was from a different Mr. Klein. There's
Yeah.
actually a switch in there.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That person is now gone, so now they have somebody else, and,
Oh,
but,
okay.
I think how
So, Mr. President, as far as the parking, some of those residents, who do they have to see? Because sometimes the general comes and puts the chain and it locks. This is not the parking lot that it goes around Peter says, another parking right across from the Rivera Club. If they could keep that open, and at least it would alleviate all that burden of parking that we don't have in the area. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we usually open the park for the funeral people, I mean, to go all over the grass and whatever. In a buying
Councilman
field.
Jacks has a comment?
Yeah, Mr. President, another reason why we have an overloaded parking is just because we probably have hundreds and hundreds of illegal conversions throughout the city. And I don't know if it's being enforced. I'm sure Ed Kirk has gone out and does go out randomly or whenever he's told to go out. But I'm sure he's shorthanded too, because we have not replaced Joe Cariolano, who used to be in that department since he passed away years ago. So we really need to begin to reinforce the illegal conversion thing. I understand that you know, people are hard pressed to find income to keep their houses. But when you start renting out room by room by room by room by room, and I do see it. As a realtor, I do see it. I mean, you have an apartment, 3 bedrooms, and there's 3 different people in the bedroom.
That's totally illegal.
Well,
Absolutely. That should be addressed.
then what we need to do is we need to start sending out the people who handle this, have them do sweeps block by block, and let's get it back in order. And that's
Well, I don't know
that's
if
the
we
way
have-
you
I don't-
alleviate a lot of the parking.
I mean, again, with the staffing, like you indicated, I don't know if we have the staffing to be able to do that, but certainly if anybody, and anybody that's looking at this at home, you know, if they know of any illegal conversion, they just need to call our code enforcement office and report it.
Well, there
We can
used to
go
be a
out and
hotline. I
investigate
don't
it.
even know if we have the hotline anymore. It used to be, we used to have an illegal conversion hotline. You just dialed that number, and that was put in. You didn't have to give your name, nothing, and it went right to the illegal conversion office.
I just want to add, Mr. President,
Yes.
on that note, and then this was what I was going to bring up too, is just, I saw a one-family house in my ward and literally had a sign, rooms for rent.
Yeah.
The sign was on the window. It was a
rooming house.
one-family
It's
house.
illegal.
And sure enough, I know someone that went in, and there were different people living, so-and-so lives here, so-and-so this, and this. And then we reported it, and they went out, and Rocco even mentioned too, is that it's only illegal if they're putting locks on the doors. But besides that, there's nothing we could do. And I was like, there has to be something, because you know, he said as long as it doesn't have locks, you can't do anything.
And we can change the ordinance.
And I'm like, there has to be something. Because literally they reported it, they said they have to remove the locks, they removed the locks, and currently right now they're in good standing, but there's
What
like...
about the mail, when you got mail for 10 people coming in?
Exactly.
So
So something...
those are revenue. Those are quality of life issues, and those are revenue gainers. We
But
really need to start doing
I
that.
think Councilman is right. Maybe we need to take a good look at the ordinance and see what we could do to strengthen
There's
the
a rooming
rooming
house ordinance that
Huh?
prohibits, there's a rooming house ordinance that prohibits.
Solve it. All of it's got to be enforced.
Because if they're non-relatives.
So were they
usually
allowed
they're
to keep that sign up, or did they have to take it down?
Pretty much Rocco, and I told him, like, one person is a student at Kane, and one person is, like, it's like
They're non-relatives.
non-relatives, but Rocco mentioned that as long as there's no locks on the doors, there's nothing.
I know there are certain limitations, but
So,
It's definitely not.
but maybe that's why we really need to look at the ordinance and see what else we
yeah,
can do.
and they had them removed, but there still has to be something, how you said, Pat, they're non-relative.
If it's
So,
relatives, okay, but if they're non-relatives. Can you check that?
I'm sorry,
Can you
Councilman.
give us a copy of the ordinance?
Yeah.
I'll be giving you a whole stack of it.
All right, Councilman Mazza.
If I suggest to some of those residents where we over-congested in the 6th Ward, to go someplace, let's say Public Works, a person, as long as they sign an indemnity form to the city, that if anything happens to their car, the city is not responsible, then those people will be able to park and say, keep those, lot open, so we'll alleviate, because we have the old Barrilos house, there's 12 family there. You have the one that Salermo, a lot of apartment, and the block is very, it's really,
But you may have to check.
That's a
with the
city
law
lot,
department.
Councilman?
Yeah, it's a city lot, the one right across
and
from
what
the-
happened is,
It's right when you go to, Peterstown.
Peterstown, right across from the Ribera Club, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if somebody works and he comes in early in the morning, works at night and every morning, parks the car, whatever, he has to now get up to try moving up to get a ticket because at 8 o'clock, at 8 or 5, there's a scooter every day. That 410 makes revenue for the city, but you know, even if somebody has the rear tire blocking in a yellow line, that's what, it doesn't mind if the guy said, if I don't totally park inside a yellow line, it's okay, you know. We have to have some feeling also for those people that, in a situation like that.
All right, well, we can look into that lot situation and see what we can do with.
We go through the law department,
to
right?
assist the residents in that area.
Thank you, and that's
Check
it.
for recreation.
That's
I think they're
Yeah.
they're the ones who launch.
This one guy sometimes goes, even to close my gate or Bryan Field, sometimes they close, sometimes they don't close, and every said guy comes in, he does a good job, but then sometimes we have nobody.
Check for
Yeah.
recreation.
Right.
And I just want to mention for any viewers that any illegal conversions, 820-4088. That's the number you need to call. Illegal 4088. Councilman Questa.
Yes, Mr. President. Just a couple of issues. As the councilwoman stated before, you know, when you go door to door in a campaign, it's really interesting. The people you meet and the issues that come up. In my personal experience, I was able to address quality of life issues, which are usually the ones that people talk to you the most about, you know, the noise and the drinking, etc. But the second constant issue is the fact that the president of the Official Board of Education has not resigned. Now, I recommended introducing a resolution months ago, and we did, and there was much discussion about it. We talked about the fact that people are innocent and they're proven guilty, and of course, I strongly believe in that. The fact of the matter is that now Mrs. Munn has been indicted, a state indictment. Doing a little bit of research, I found out that her application, not only did she lie about the income, but the lie exceeded $100,000. I think it's time for us to introduce a second resolution demanding her resignation immediately, because we no longer can trust an elected official who still the president of the Board of Education. And Mr. President, I have to tell you, I was quite upset a couple of weeks ago in May when I read a pamphlet produced by the Board of Education celebrating Black History Month. It seems to me that, you know, something like Black History should be celebrated every month. However, in February, when we traditionally celebrated Black History Month, and they made a publication in May celebrating Black History Month, and one of the people they honored was Marie Munn. And a lot of people have told me that they have found that offensive. I have. I think it's about time for her to step down, and I would strongly recommend my colleagues support me in a second resolution, and that we should send copies of this resolution to the Commissioner of Education, to the board secretary, because then he has the responsibility of making sure every board member gets a copy, and perhaps the Attorney General. I know, because it has happened before in Elizabeth, I know that legally we cannot force her to step down, but I think morally, she really should step down. And I wish her the best. I don't wish her any ill, but she's an elected official. She's been indicted now for theft. She has no business running the Board of Education. And in my personal opinion, she should step down now. Now, having said that, Mr. President, you know, in a school district, there are always rumors and speculation, and this is going to happen tomorrow, that's going to happen, and sometimes it's true. So I heard throughout the day today that she was going to resign tomorrow, and that a Cuban American was going to replace her. Well, that's all speculation. Until I see it, I won't believe it. So if we we agree to adopt a resolution tonight, and she steps down tomorrow, well, then my recommendation is moved, and we don't have to do it. But until I see that happening, I strongly would recommend another resolution demanding her resignation. She has no business being in charge of the Board of Ed anymore.
Mr. President, I strongly second Councilman Questa's request for resolution. When this first came up several months ago, I said, as elected officials, we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And I said at that time, if you are arrested for breaking the law, that should be enough. Some of our colleagues said, not good enough. Person's not been, we're not a jury. You know, and that's correct, we're not a jury. But now with the indictment, it's even more urgent that she resign, that she be removed from the board. Understand that we're not attorneys, this is not a court of law, but we have a higher level of responsibility to the people who elect us, whether it's Board of Education or City Council. And I'm strongly supporting you, Councilman Questa.
Thank you.
I just can't believe that she's not gone already. Thank you very much.
Can I just comment on it all?
Sure, Councilman.
You know, there's the old saying amongst politicians, I guess, the word appearance of impropriety.
Right. Right.
And I'm an attorney, and I defend people all the time, and I believe everyone should have a right in court and have a right to get judged by their peers, which is a jury. But like Councilman Keenan said, when you're an elected official, any appearance of impropriety, whether it's proven or not, casts a bad light on the institution of the Board of Education. And we look very silly statewide and in other towns when we have our president of Board of Education made the Star Ledger twice, I guess. And she's still there running the schools. I mean, we look horrible. And I think that appearance of impropriety should be enough for her to step down, especially now with Quebec.
Mr. President, also, just to finalize that point, and then I have something else I want to discuss, but the fact of the matter is, she repaid either all or most of the money that allegedly she had, illegally taken from the board. So, I mean, if I'm not guilty, I wouldn't return a penny. She returned thousands of dollars to the board. So she has admitted publicly that she did something wrong. I mean, there's no question about it. Of course, eventually, either there will be a trial, or there will be some plea bargaining, or I doubt very much that the charges will be dropped. Something will happen. I want to use as an example, and I don't remember his name, and I should, but I think it was the mayor of Bayonne under the Corazon administration, who was suspected, Dorian. He was suspected of doing something illegal, and everybody came out in his defense because the man, and I had the privilege of working with him for several years at the state level in a commission that had been appointed by Governor McGreevy. He was highly respected. Everyone came out in his defense saying this man is innocent. And at the end of the day, when the investigation was over, he was found innocent. But yet, as soon as that came out, he resigned. Because he felt he had to. He didn't want to embarrass the governor, he didn't want to embarrass his constituents, and he resigned. And the man was innocent. It was really a travesty. He did nothing wrong. But he resigned. In this case, this person has admitted that she did something wrong when she returned the money. Why would somebody return thousands of dollars to the Board of Ed if she's innocent? I mean, so there's no question in my mind that she should step down, and I hope that I get the support of my colleagues.
I think Councilman Jackas wanted to add something to that?
Yeah, it's interesting to hear this conversation between attorneys. What happens when something is dismissed? When a charge is dismissed and it continues. When the charge is dismissed, I always understood it to mean that it never happened.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so then why are public officials held to a different standard when a charge is dismissed? It never reaches trial and it is dismissed. What happens then?
Well, in this
What happens to that person when it never happened? It never happened.
Are you referring to this case?
No,
Oh,
I'm referring
in
to in
Yeah.
cases
But in this
where
case,
they go.
In this case, there's a very likelihood that it happened in light of all the facts that are surrounding
Well, I'm
it.
talking about cases in
And I
general
think they're-
that wind up in court with elected public officials and it's dismissed. It's like it never happened.
Correct.
It didn't happen.
There's a
But
difference.
why are then people held to a different standard?
Well, that's what the council.
Because you have a public trust when you get elected. You swear to the Constitution you're going to abide by
There's
it.
no doubt, but
And
when
I
you,
think that if there's so much
when
facts
you-
that are in this particular case,
I'm not talking
facts,
about that.
no, because there's a difference. Like, for example,
I'm not talking about
there was the
that.
mayor of, what was that town up in Bergen County that just got,
He was found innocent, right?
he was found
He was
innocent?
found innocent. I met him. I met the mayor. He was
Suarez, I think, Anthony Suarez.
He was found
But
innocent.
that
Correct.
was an allegation.
Yes.
Okay.
In this case, it's beyond allegation.
I'm not talking about this case, I'm talking about cases that hit court that are dismissed, and the allegation goes away.
Right. In each case, I think it's got to be held to a different scrutiny, but I think in this case, it's very specific.
I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about other cases that are dismissed before they actually get there.
Well, that's not the basis of this
Okay.
resolution.
Okay, all right. Councilman Questa?
Yeah, the other thing, because Yolanda, I have a copy of the letter that you sent to Director Cosgrove regarding that traffic situation I talked to you about. Did we get I noticed the letter was sent to him. Did we get an
I
answer?
never got
I want to get back to his neighbors.
Okay.
One of them contacted me recently, so I want to be sure if it cannot be handled for some reason, I need to know.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and Councilman, the resolution, we will put it on
Thank you.
unless the person resigns, unless she resigns.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I didn't finish my comments.
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't finish.
Yeah, let's do the ones round, you can finish, can we?
Well,
Councilman Sedan?
Just pass.
I
You
just-
can give it to him.
All right, good.
Um,
You have the floor, Councilman.
Just a couple things. With regards to what Councilman Quest is requesting, and I do agree with him, and I agreed with him the last time. The thing is this. I heard her say in statements that she did not know. Okay, now wait. Frank, 1 second. How do we know that someone in the office, secretaries or others, who were filing those applications, did not fraudulently put information on those applications without telling her?
Well, I know the answer to that question. She admitted in public that she excluded her husband's salary intentionally. She admitted that as a matter of public record.
But my point is that I am sure that there are other people who have been advised or just filled out the application, and instead of adding their immediate family, added their entire family. Grandmothers, uncles, aunts, this one, that one. And the application got filled out with all the people who are not necessarily in their family. And I'm going to tell you something. If an investigation is going to go on, then they need to scrutinize every one of those applications to find out who created the fraud, where it happened, when it happened, did it happen by secretaries, did it happen by supervisors, or was it initiated by the director?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
If I may reply to that point, it's an excellent point. And to my knowledge, the investigation continues. And I know this is speculation, maybe I shouldn't say it's speculation. But in my humble opinion, this is the first of several indictments. This is one. This is the beginning.
In my humble opinion, Frank, what should happen here is that entire department should be investigated. There should be people that are subpoenaed, asked questions about how these applications were filled out. Did you fill these applications out, or was that information put in there for you, or were you told to put that information in there?
Anything else, Councilman?
Yes. Tony? Are these appropriations? Budget appropriations that you gave us? The quarterly?
One schedule is revenues for quarterly, and one
Right.
schedule is appropriation.
Okay.
For
We
quarterly.
talked about many quality of life things tonight, Mr. President, with including revenue, generating revenue. It appears to me that we have a number of motorcycles that are used to issue tickets that are outdated and need to be updated. Last year, we included, or we raised each council person's budget to $5,000. I would like an entry into our budget where we would purchase 5 Harley-Davidson motorcycles for our police department. It's very interesting that the business administrator just about a year and a half ago, as I was pushing for black and white cars, said that the city would never go back to black and white cars. We have black and white cars now. If you remember, I asked to have those white cars painted at Edison,
Yeah.
okay?
Yes, sir.
We now have black and white cars for our police department. It would be very nice to get our men and women, whoever are driving our motorcycles, new equipment, because we're purchasing all kinds of new equipment, and I'm sure we have raised large amounts of revenue with those motorcycles. Can we please, if you could send a letter to the director and the chief,
Yeah, we'll do.
finding out if in fact they can insert as a budget revenue, or we can, as a city council, 5 new motorcycles.
Well, they've been using forfeiture funds to a large degree for purchase equipment, that type of thing, so we'll look into.
I'm looking at some of these motorcycles, Tony, and let me tell you something, I know a little bit about motorcycles. We're going back to 2099. Let's update the motorcycles so these men and women are safe. They're doing their jobs. I see them issuing summonses all the time. Okay? Now, there is one other thing. On Lidgewood Avenue, it's a one-way, one block. I see the motorcycle officer almost every day issue 2 or 3 tickets for people parking in a bus stop. It is a legal bus stop. The line is not painted. I'm sure if these people went into court, okay, because that line is not painted down, they may have a chance to have that ticket removed. We need to either paint the line, okay, so that the bus stop is legal, and paint the street, because there is absolutely no place for the people to sit down. Not that I want it there, but the thing is that the people that are parking there do not see the signs, because the sign starts at the corner and it runs into and close to the apartment, and no one knows that's a no parking area.
That's for the buses.
It's the New Jersey Transit bus, comes up Lidgewood Avenue. It comes off of Washington Avenue and up Lidgewood Avenue. And it comes 2, 3, 4 times a day. And the tickets are given. Now, I know the city needs revenues, but we need to do it the right way, and we need to alert the people that there's a bus stop there.
Is there a sign, bus sign? Oh, but it's all
There's
way
2,
up.
but you don't see them.
I'm sure we can get that, that stripe
Yeah, we-
painted yellow, that shouldn't be no problem. Awesome.
No, it shouldn't be a problem, because I requested it. I requested it. So put the thing in, I requested it, paint the yellow line.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
In a block, how many signs do we need? How many feet away for, let's say, no parking, street cleaning on Wednesday or Friday? If you have a length of 5 blocks, or almost 4 blocks, there's minimum 1 sign. Don't you need 1 sign for every block?
I don't know.
No department?
I would think at the very least you would have one on each block.
Yeah, one for each block.
I would think at the very least, but I don't
Do
know.
we have a law on that?
I don't know if
Yeah, I
it's
believe it's
written.
by state statute.
There's
Okay.
one for each block.
I don't know what state statute
Oh,
says.
okay.
but-
Can you look it up for me?
Yeah.
Because then I would like to give it to somebody.
That could be easily an argument for a resident.
You make it into.
But then they're gonna go before the judge.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna go. You have to waste a day of work to go. Might as well you pay the ticket because of the price.
Unless you're unemployed or not.
Right, unless you retire all the time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah. Councilman Jacobs, is that it?
Yeah, some time ago, Councilman Grover asked about tipping fees. Tony, you have any idea about what the fee is right now?
No, I know it's been, not the exact amount, but I know it's been lowered by
Yeah.
$100,000.
The Union County Utilities Authority lowered the tipping fee. It helps out the municipalities, the 14 contracted municipalities, which we are one of. And I worked very hard on having that tipping fee reduced, saving millions and millions and millions of dollars countywide, plus other benefits. So the tipping fees have been reduced. I think right now it's about $3 a ton from what it was. And the market rate right now is about $98 a ton. We're down to like 52. So the commissioners on the Utilities Authority have worked very hard to continue to strive to keep them tipping fees down for county residents, including the city of Elizabeth.
And we appreciate it.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Eddie. Good job.
That's important.
Okay. Councilman Jacobs?
That's it.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman
Yes,
Grover.
Councilman.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got a copy of, I guess,
Yolanda's office had given me a copy of the littering and noise ordinance. Fine says not less than $200 and no more than $500. I'm gonna ask the law department if we can change this to not less than $500, no more than $5,000, not more than $1,000. Sorry.
5,000 sounds good too.
500, I'm sorry, 500 minimum.
Yeah, watch out.
The noise ordinance doesn't have I guess the noise ordinance falls under the general catch-all. So I'd like to see if we can get a minimum penalty on that of 500 and also maximum 1,000. I'll give you these, there's the code numbers on here and everything. So I think right now it seems like $200 may not be really gonna stop anybody from doing anything in this town.
And it seems like for the most part, like the police department just go and gives a warning. They don't really issue.
Well, that's, that's the first steps to get the penalties up. The second is to tell the police department, you guys really, that's the start.
Enforcement, and then hopefully when it gets to the courts, then the courts can be lenient also.
But if you have a mandatory minimum, they must give them the minimum.
Okay. All right, before we judge, just wanted to say, all our the police academy, the recruits are graduating tonight, so we will have some new police officers, 18 altogether, and they will be hitting the streets this week, so that's a good thing. So, yeah. I don't know. But motion to adjourn? So moved, meeting adjourned.
Good job.